Good morning, students. As some of you have expressed your interest to solve this problem using the total expenditure method, that's why I am floating this video. So here what is the question? First let us read the question. We have the data on the price and the quantity demanded. So we know what is our P, we know what is our Q. Now what is the question? The question here is that we are asked to find out the price elasticity of demand using the total expenditure method. So whenever this type of question comes, what is the formula that we need to write? So what is the formula of total expenditure? 1 minus change in total expenditure divided by x. What is this x? X is the initial value of the quantity, and then we will multiply it by delta P, means change in the price. So we will add the columns for each of these components, and then finally we will check value of the price elasticity using this formula. So let's start. Here I have already added the columns. What are the columns? This is your total expenditure. Why we have added this column? Because we need to calculate the change in the total expenditure. I have written here outlay. You can also write here expenditure. It doesn't matter. So method will remain same, expenditure. You can also write here expenditure. Then change in the price. So change in the price, we can see here we need to add this column as well for change in the price, and then finally we will multiply quantity, means this is the x, the quantity we already had. This quantity we will multiply with the change in the price that we will calculate here. So I am writing here del P because this is the change in the price. Total expenditure, we need to multiply the price by the quantity. So here 10 into 1, it is 10. So 9 into 2, it is 18. So like that we will just calculate the value of the total expenditure. So it will be 24, 28, 30. Again we will have 30. 5 into 6, 4 into 7, 28. Then 3 into 8, 24. 9 into 2, 18, and finally 10 into 1, 10. Now change in the total outlay, definitely for the first row we cannot calculate, because change in the total expenditure, what it says, that the change in the total expenditure formula is the total expenditure, which is the final value of total expenditure, minus the total expenditure, which is the initial value of total expenditure. Now in this case, for the first row there is no initial point, so we are starting now. So in this case we can ignore this row. Now from the second row onward we will calculate the value of the total expenditure. So here it is 18 minus 10. So we will have the value 8. Likewise 24 minus 8. So the value will be 6. 28 minus 4, value is 4. So like that we will calculate the del TE, or the change in the total expenditure. Minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, and finally minus 8. Now look at here, we didn't ignore the minus sign. If it is decreasing, if the total expenditure is decreasing, we have included the minus sign when we calculated the total expenditures change. Now let us calculate the next column, that is del P, or the change in the price. So again for the first row we cannot calculate it. So from the second row onward we will calculate. here let's see what is the change in the price. Change in the price means this is the final price. Okay, so this is for the second case, this is your final P and this is your initial P. So definitely final minus initial, so 9 minus 10. So for the second case, 9 minus 10 means the value of the change in price is minus 1. Now in this third case, what is happening? 8 minus 9. So we will have the minus 1. Now if you look at the values of the price, you can see that price has decreased by 1 unit. So in all the cases we can write it as minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Here also 3 minus 4, so minus 1, 2 minus 3 minus 1, 1 minus 2 minus 1. So now we have calculated the del P and it is the time to calculate x into del P. Now x into del P, again for the first row we will ignore it. Let us look at the value from the second row onward. So for the second row, how we will calculate? We will multiply the del P. We know the value of del P. The value of the del P is here minus 1. So value of the del P minus 1, which we will multiply with whom? The x. Which x? Should we take this x too? No. Here the x will be the initial x, means from where we are calculating it. So here it will be 1. So x is 1. 1 into minus 1. So what will be the value? The value will be minus 1. Correct. So like that we need to calculate the values for x into del P for all the rows. Now here in this case what will be the value? We will multiply the minus 1, which is the del P, with whom? With the initial x. So here 2 into minus 1. So we will have minus 2. When the price is 7, this minus 3. So minus 4, then minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8 and finally minus 9. Now we need to calculate the ratio. What is the ratio? This is the ratio. This is the ratio that we are trying to calculate. So what we will do here, how we can calculate the ratio? Definitely we will ignore the first row. From the second row onward we will calculate. So here we are having del T. What is the value of del T? Del T value is 8. So 8 divided by the value that we have already calculated, that is the denominator. So the value of the denominator is minus 1. So minus 1. Now here for the second case, what will be the value? That is 6 divided by 6 divided by minus 2. So if we calculate it, the value will be here, the value will be minus 8 for this case. Here the value will be minus 3, and for the case when the price is 7, the value will be minus 1.33, then minus 0.5, minus 0.0, or minus is not actually applicable here, so we will write it just 0. So ignore it, we will write only 0. After that 0.33. I am not doing the calculation in front of you, you just check, you can calculate it by your own. So 0.57, then 0.75, and the final value is 0.89. Clear? Now we will calculate the price elasticity of demand. So let us again look at the formula. What is the formula? Formula here is 1 minus this ratio that already we have calculated. So just we will deduct this value from 1. So 1 minus of 8, correct? So minus into minus, it will be plus, so 1 plus 8. So the value of the price elasticity for the second case is 9. Accordingly, we will calculate those values. So it is 4, then 2.33, then this value will be 1.50, here it is 1, then the value will be 0.67, 0.43, and here it will be 0.25, and finally we will have 0.11. Now we have calculated the price elasticity of demand. Next step is what? We will try to draw the demand curve based on the information that we do have, the price and the quantity demanded, and on the demand curve we will try to find out what is the price elasticity of a particular point. So first we will draw a axis. This is the x-axis. On x-axis we measure the quantity, so we will write Q. On the vertical axis we measure the price, so here we will write P. And the demand curve, we can draw the demand curve, since here we are not taking the exact measure, so we are roughly drawing the demand curve, but just we are putting the price value of the price and the quantity. So here it is 10. When the price is 10, the consumer is consuming 1 unit of the commodity, so it is 1. So like that, if we plot the value, let us name the points. So for this we are not having the price elasticity of demand, so for point A we couldn't calculate it. For point B, this is 9 and 2, so this is 9, and for example this is 2, so this is point B. Then point C is having, this is 9, this is 2, okay, so this is our point B. Then we will have point C. So like that we are roughly taking the values. So here it is 8, price is 8, and the quantity is how much? 3, so quantity is 3. So like that, if I just name these points, so C, this is the D, this is E, F, G, H, I, and finally J. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. Now if we take the locus of these points, let me change the color. If we take the locus of these points, we will get the demand curve. So if I take the locus, just we are joining these points. Now we will get the demand curve. So this is our demand curve. So we identified our demand curve. Now we need to plot this price elasticities on the demand curve. So this was our point A. So at point A we couldn't calculate. From point B, what is the rule? When we are using this total expenditure method, the rule is that if it is equal to 1, if the price elasticity value is equal to 1, it is unit elastic, right? So where corresponding to point A, if we can get the price elasticity value is equal to 1. So at here the EP is equal to 1, and before that, look at here, before that for all the points the value is greater than 1. So price elasticity value is greater than 1. So if it is greater than 1, that means it is elastic. So in this range, basically the demand curve is elastic. And for this range, what is happening? All the price elasticity values are less than 1. So EP is less than 1. So these are the inelastic values. So price elasticity is this is the area of inelastic price elasticity. So this area of the demand curve is having inelastic price elasticity. So inelastic. I hope your concept is clear that how we can identify the price elasticity of a demand by using of a demand curve by using the total expenditure method. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me later. Thank you.